Hey guys, it's Aaron here from Reality Entertainment, and third time lucky technically. I'm hoping this video works. I've been having some technical issues recently. Last week I recorded a video, the mic didn't work at all, even though I tested the volumes, so couldn't upload anything. I've just recorded a video, I think it was about 40 minutes of talking and sharing things, and the microphone level was again really quiet this time. So I'm hoping this works, and I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to focus on a particular scene that I was actually showing last week, that I was adding into the scene, and I want to go through how conditions work within Neyyah and how certain states of the game shift around in terms of what the player, how the player interacts with things. So this is a scene from the game where the player can actually open up a door and close a door. So they can open the door, they can go inside, and they can close it, and they can move away from the scene as well, and that also closes the door behind them. And so this is a really cool way of this is a cool example of how conditions work within the game, to be able to show a player whether something is open or closed or turned on, which is a really big thing in Neyyah, because it has to, the way that Neyyah works, being a pre-rendered game as well, is that you have certain states that change. It's one of the biggest principles of a pre-rendered game like Neyyah, everything changing because of how a player has interacted with the game and what they've set to be able to show within the game. Is a door open? Is something turned on? Has something moved up? Is an elevator being activated? And all these different things. And it's basically, this is like a kind of rinse and repeat principle or system that I've created within Neyyah that I can basically take with me and rinse and repeat anywhere within the game. It has its downfalls. I did actually show you, I had in my last video that I recorded today a cool example of how when you copy conditions, they won't always match up with the particular scene that you've copied them to, because they're being used from another scene. I can show you that in a minute. And again, this is an example here of when you walk through into this area. I'm trying not to show too much and reveal too much as well with this particular kind of video, but I've actually walked in, I've opened the door back up, I've come back out, and here is an example of the door being closed again. So going inside also created the same change of conditions as would me moving away from it. So I'm going to go back into Visionaire now, and I'm going to show you how that works. So with the open door, I've got a condition set which is open door 1, which is here, my list of conditions for this particular scene. So upon this door being clicked, upon this hotspot of open door being clicked, I can change the condition of open door to false. So this is the open door condition. So instantly upon clicking this becomes false, this becomes invisible. The animation of the door plays, followed by the open door image, which is the last frame of the animation, which is this. This is the open door open. That is set to true, which is followed by the animation. If that was before the animation would be hidden. It would just be like the open door scene appearing suddenly, and the player not being able to do anything until the animation behind it finishes. See, Visionaire works in I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot today, because I've already talked about this in my video that I just did, which didn't work, and the video I did last week. But basically, Visionaire works in the sense of having layers, which I really love. I'm not a coder, I don't program, I've never really got into it. and I don't really like seeing walls and walls of code. It just doesn't work from the way I like to work. I'm a very visual person, and so seeing everything like this laid out in front of me is also quite fun, because it's like I'm solving a puzzle whilst making the game. I'm solving my own kind of puzzle kind of thing, and so, you know, if certain things aren't layered properly, they won't work. I need to be able to make sure that everything's layered in the correct way. And so, for instance, here the door open condition is true after the animation plays, because then the image appears. The closed door, which is this one here, appears as well, and the open door is set to true upon the close. Sorry, I'm going back here. The forward is set to true, which is this one here, of being able to enter. So all this can happen within one image. There was once something I actually didn't mention in my other takes, is I think I used to have separate images to show different states. So I would have a different scene for the door being opened. Well, that can all happen in one scene, as demonstrated here. This is a great example of that. Within this scene, I can show the door being opened, which is, I believe, a crop as well. I think that's a crop, because this scene is this animation is a cropped animation of the scene. As you can see here, I've got the animation here, and you can see that it's an actual cropped version of this entire scene. So that image that gets added is a cropped image. It's the last frame of that animation. So yeah, this is a great example of how conditions work within Neyyah, but within Visionaire, and how it can make things happen. And the reason I said about sometimes it can be, you know, if you're not checking things correctly, it can be a bit of a downfall, is because one of these conditions, I think it was the open door condition. These have been pasted from another scene, and unfortunately, when I was playing the game just now, I hadn't changed the condition, I hadn't linked it to this particular scene of the open door condition. So when I clicked the open door, this was still showing up below here, and then it would change to the forward. I believe that was because maybe the forward is actually, in terms of the layers, it's actually on top of the list, so it would actually show up and overlay that open door condition anyway. I think the closed door was fine, but yeah, that wasn't disappearing. Now it does, obviously, because I've linked it correctly. Another thing about this closed door as well is that it needs to this zoom in of this plaque needs to reappear, and so that wasn't happening. It was, but I wasn't actually understanding how I'd set that up, because usually I'll have like something like a plaque zoom in condition of its own. But what I did is I actually linked the zoom in of that plaque to the open door condition. So basically it's linked to this condition here. If that's false, so is the plaque zoom in. So yeah, that's a kind of cool way of how things work and run within Neyyah. I really can't wait to be able to obviously add more of the water animations to this particular scene. It's an area of Neyyah that I've been working on now for about just over 2 weeks. Not just this area, but the whole area that this place is in, and I don't want to share too much. But it's been really fun actually, just coming up with the animations, the puzzle elements, the journey modes as well. So I just want to show you, in terms of how conditions work within Visionaire, how that also works really well for animations as well. And this is a really cool example of a journey mode having to change in terms of what the player has set up within the environment. And it works quite nicely. So I'm just going to quickly show you an example of this. So we have a view here of looking down, and in the distance here on the walkway, which we're going to approach in a minute, we have a very small little lever that can be seen here. So I'm going to move down. We have our journey mode playing. You can see the lever is still in that position. I'll go over here. Oh wait, my bad. You can actually, one thing I will do is actually do a zoom in from that particular angle from here, so you can actually zoom in on the lever. You turn left and zoom on it from this angle here. We activate, turn on the lever. We've also got different states to show you that now it's turned on, which are little cropped images. You can see it there, it's been turned on, fantastic. If I walk back up here and then turn back round, another example of OpenGL animations being added into the game as well. Makes things nice and fast when I'm adding things into the engine to see how things are running, particularly for journey modes or any kind of long animations. Enables me to kind of tweak things as necessary or make things longer before actually rendering them out. So I have a bit of a problem here though. Oh no, I don't. The lever's on, so it's all good. So now when I move down, this animation shows the lever having been turned on, and it works really nicely. This means the animation has to be rendered twice, because it needs to react to what the player has done. So if I turn it back off, we now have the off states being shown within the engine, as well as the off state here, and now the off state of the animation moving down. Certain scenes like this can be done a bit quicker. So for example, you might see an off state only in the first few frames, or the first few frames of the start or middle or whatever part of the animation. They're the only bits that I need to re-render, and then they can be kind of spliced into the animation. So the rest of the animation can stay the same. But for this example, throughout the whole animation, that lever is in focus, so it needs to be redone. So yeah, I just wanted to show you how conditions work within an animation setting, and how that looks within Visionaire as well. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Cool little insight into Visionaire. I'm hoping to do a few more Visionaire videos along the way as well, because I'm doing quite a bit of work in it at the moment. And like, subscribe, comment. Stay tuned for more devlogs, some really cool things coming your way. Don't want to say too much about them, but that will be linked with the behind the scenes process behind Neyyah as well. And yeah, stay tuned. Have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you on the other side of the portal. Bye guys!